recourse is a means used to obtain recognition of a right that hasn't been respected. As a consumer, you have rights. If these rights are not respected by a company or an individual, legal recourse is available to resolve the situation. The steps involved in recourse are similar to the floors of a building. You can't get to the second floor without going through the first floor. There are a total of 4 floors in the recourse building. First, there is the company's customer service department. If you don't receive answers to your questions, you can turn to the Ombudsman. If you still haven't gotten results, you can then send a formal notice letter. Finally, you can appeal to the Small Claims Division of the Court of Quebec, also known as Small Claims Court. Psst. Here's a bit of advice for you. Before you start, make sure you have all of the necessary information and documents, like your receipt and your contract if one exists. These will help support your claim. Let's say you bought a desk chair a little over a year ago because you were tired of sitting on a kitchen chair to do your homework. Unfortunately, the seams around the chair's cushion are already starting to pull apart and the padding is coming out through the holes that are forming. When you bought the chair, the salesperson told you that if your chair had a problem within 12 months of purchase, you could return it to the store for a replacement. But you bought it 16 months ago. The legal warranty states that a good must be fit for its intended purpose for a reasonable period of time. In this case, the stitching on a chair should last longer than 16 months, even if you use it frequently for your homework and reading. You therefore have recourse to have your chair replaced or repaired. With your receipt in hand, you contact the customer service department of the company, which may refer you directly to the manufacturer. In either case, you must clearly explain your situation and expectations to the customer service representative. You explain that the seams on your chair are coming apart and that you want them repaired. During the conversation, take notes such as the name of the person you are talking to, the date and time of your call, and what is being offered. You can refer to these notes later if needed. Listen carefully to what is suggested. If the suggestions don't meet your expectations, let the person know. If the negotiation doesn't seem to be going anywhere, you can ask to speak to the person in charge of customer service at the company. This may help get things moving along. After discussing it, the customer service representative offers to repair your chair. However, you'll have to assume a lot of the costs for the repair, which you don't accept, since you want the legal warranty to be applied and the company to pay for the repair of the chair or replace it. Since you can't come to an agreement, find out about the company's complaint process. Ask if the company has an ombudsman or an equivalent. This person may be able to follow up on your complaint by suggesting ways to resolve the situation that would satisfy you as much as the company. If the complaint process does not succeed in resolving the situation, your next recourse is a formal notice letter. This letter clearly and briefly explains the issue. It states what is required of the company to resolve the situation and the deadline for doing so. In this case, you want your chair repaired within the next few days at no cost to you. You must be able to prove that the company received your letter and provide the date it was received. It is strongly recommended that you send your letter by registered mail to make sure it's received. This service requires the recipient to sign and date a form to confirm that the company received your letter. This way, if the company doesn't respond to your demands and you continue with your complaints, this letter will be an important element in enforcing your rights. After receiving the letter, the company contacts you and agrees to replace your chair. Now, you can bring your old chair back to the store and pick up the one being set aside for you. You are satisfied with the offer and accept it. Now, let's say that nothing you did worked. All is not lost. You still have another recourse, small claims court. This court's role is to find a solution for cases where the amounts involved are less than $15,000. In order to make this court more accessible, You can present your case and your arguments yourself. You don't need to hire a lawyer. The judge's decision is final. This means the court's decision cannot be appealed. Whether the decision is in your favor or not, you must abide by it. As complicated and time-consuming as it may seem, it's often worth fighting to have your rights respected and to change the ways in which companies operate and how governments do things, since they are responsible for creating and applying the laws. In short, if you aren't happy with the goods or services you've purchased, don't hesitate to use the recourse available to help you.